What's up, guys? It is Sam here, and today I have a real treat where we're going to get into the comments, and we're going to do a whole show. Just ask Sam if you want to call it something like that, where you can get your question on the show by using hashtag Stolt down below in the comment section. And every couple days we'll be doing a video going over some of the comments and or questions, a full show just on the comment section, because I think there's tremendous insight and value in the comment section. I want to highlight some of that. By using hashtag Stolt, I'm able to more easily find the comments to be able to use for content in this video. So, with that being said, what's good? My name is Sam, and for those of you that are returning, first of all, it is good to freaking see you, and second of all, you had better be pressing that thumbs up button. I'd love to hear your comment on this style of video. So what we have here is my YouTube analytics, and I've gone to the comment section, and I come over here and I look for I learned to search for comments that have hashtag Stolt in it, and so clearly it's not 100% accurate because this first comment comes up does not have. Hopefully you can see this a little bit better. There you go. This first comment does not have hashtag Stolt in it, but let's just dive right into it. Love how you're using all the data points, not just one or two. This is a true sense of the real support. Yours is the most in-depth and unbiased I have seen. Okay, so this is from Jana Liggett. I apologize if I say your name. First of all, thank you so much for the comment, and that is in regards to our national power ranking. If you want to check out that video, go back to the channel and check it out. In the power rankings, we try to take a broad spectrum. So like when I started doing these things around politics, I just wanted to understand what was actually going on. Given that I just maybe was a little bit skeptical of how polling is done. You can't see it, but I'm in finance, and one of the things, the designations that I have is a CFA, which is a chartered financial analyst, and the think of like a CPA here in the United States, a certified public accountant, but like 2 to 4 times more challenging than a CPA exams. The CPA here in the U.S., I believe you have to have a certain number of hours of auditing, and then you can take 4 exams, and you can do that within like several months if you're really on top of your shit. I've had friends that do it within a year. And with the CFA, it takes multiple years. But anyways, there's a very, very heavy quant side, a very, very heavy statistical analysis. The CFA covers a lot of fundamental analysis, but not only with the accounting and everything along those lines, but you see some of the issues that can come up with taking your head and just stuffing it into the books and trying to say that, if you have a sample size of, at least 30 people or whatever it might be, that it's going to be an accurate representation of what the population is, or you're like, that there's biases in the way the questions are asked, right? There's different types of biases, whether it's a status quo bias or because they've been using this polling method for a while, whether it is just an opt-in in terms of if you opt into something, you're going to get different results than if you look at natural behavior. Think, for example, if you're at work and your boss asks you a question about your job, what you're doing, versus your boss is behind the cubicle or whatever and just kind of watches you for several hours. You're going to get 2 different fucking answers. And that's what happens with polling data, where people tell you what they're doing, right? Where your boss asks you a question, you'd be like, hey, what are you working on? Well, I'm doing lots of stuff. I'm super busy right now, boss. Can't do anything else. I got a lot of stuff to do, and I'm just getting emails bombarded on me, versus like him watching over the shoulder and be like, oh, wow, he's just watching YouTube videos, right? There's a big difference. And this is what we're trying to capture with these power rankings. That's why I came up with those 7 different factors. We've got the Google search volume, the YouTube search volume. We rank their websites. So this is all the candidates' websites, 1 through 11. We rank their Facebook. We rank their Twitter. We rank their YouTube channels. And we rank their donations. At some point, if I can get the data around their Instagram, I'm going to be using Instagram data as well to add in one more factor into all of this. It is very possible, and I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts, where we actually start to add in a eighth or ninth factor if we add in Instagram, where we actually take Real Clear Politics, because I do think that there's some value in that, whether it is 100% accurate or not, right? Like if you tell your boss that you're getting a lot of emails, you probably did get some emails, right? Just like if Biden's coming in third on Real Clear Politics, I think it's probably slightly valuable. Not necessarily 100% accurate with what we're doing, but I think the most accurate is going to be the most comprehensive, right? So if I added another factor and it was Real Clear Politics, maybe we have 8 factors where Real Clear Politics represents 1/8 of the total, because I think that might be even more accurate representation of what we're doing. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are down below. Don't forget to use the hashtag Stolt, and then we can go over it and talk about it in this comment section. This is just going to be a free-flowing like idea fest, right? So let's move on here to Chris. What's good, Chris? Chris, and then Chris with 2 S's. God damn, what SARMs are you using? So SARMs are selective androgen receptor modulators. Think of when you use steroids, bind to the androgen receptor in any part of the body. Meaning, if you are trying to gain muscle, steroids will bind to the androgen receptor in the skin. That's why you might have more sweating or breakout, right? They might bind to the androgen receptor in your prostate, and it can affect many other things because it also converts to other things in the body. So with SARMs, as the name suggests, selective androgen receptor modulators, what ends up happening is these are designed to specifically have a high binding affinity to bone and muscle, so that you don't have all these peripheral side effects that come along with something like a steroid, where SARMs you can take and they bind very heavily to, there's a much higher binding affinity to muscle and bone than there is other tissues in the body, so that the other androgen receptors around the body are not being affected by using a SARM as much as they would be if you were using a steroid. So the side effects that are traditionally associated with negative side effects of using some type of more harsh compound are completely gone, and the dosage that you would take is a fraction of as big, because they're a lot stronger, because it's not like if you were to have a swimming pool and add in like a gallon of paint, right? Like you're going to affect the whole pool to a certain degree, but it's going to be like just a little bit. Whereas if you have a bathtub and you add a gallon of paint, there's going to be a much bigger effect. And that is essentially what happens, is that you can take a tremendously smaller dose, right? So you have a lot less side effects, and then the dose you can take is so much smaller, so that you also have less side effects. So that is what he is referencing right there. I'm currently around 231 pounds and 6'1". Let's go here to the website ranking video, which just went live yesterday. If you want to check out the channel, where we have a comment from Patricia. What's good, Patricia? Thank you so much for the comment. I really appreciate it. You guys should put down your location, where you're from, when you use the hashtag Stolt. Like, hey, James from blah, 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 or Patricia from blah, blah. And we're going to go through. Guess we'd better get the Yang Gang out and storm the Yang's website. Just do it, people. We need this win. This thing for the next 4 years screwed. Thanks, Stolt, for a good job. So that was in reference to the website ranking, where we have the top 5 candidates is Andrew Yang, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, Pete Buttigieg, and then Tulsi Gabbard. So kind of interesting here. The 2 people that we see of the movement in is Pete and Tulsi. So Pete moved up 2 spots in our website ranking relative to the last time we did the website ranking. website ranking. So he's something's going on there. I'm not sure what. We're still early stages, but even if you look at the Google ranking and the YouTube ranking, I do see that there might be something happening there where he has stopped losing ground, and Kamala Harris keeps losing ground. Where he, like, Kamala was in front of him. Kamala like met with him on a lot of things. Now Kamala's worse, where he's stayed about the same, if not slightly increased. So it'll be interesting to see how he moves forwards. I'm curious to know, because one of the things that I do, and I love the comments here, it's really awesome. Thank you so much. I don't actually pay attention to what these candidates say. I might pay a little bit of attention to what Andrew Yang says, but like not like you guys do, who actually know what the candidates are saying, what their point of view is on things. I'm very naive when it comes to that because it's not something that's interesting to me. What's interesting to me is understanding what America thinks about each one of these candidates. That's why I look at the data, because I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what the rest of America thinks. That's why I put this whole thing together. I want to understand what's actually happening, not like what the polling data says, or just a more accurate representation of what the polling data says. By the way, if you guys know anybody who has a podcast, has a YouTube channel, is in your local news, right, on the television or radio, share my shit with them. I'd love to come on and do an interview with them where I could talk about what we're doing here and get the message out that it's 2019 and there could potentially be at least a conversation around if that's the best way to do things. Right? And if you guys share that view or consider it valuable, like share this with somebody who is in that realm so that we can get this message out to more people. I would love to be able to go on Fox or CNN and talk about what we're doing here. So the next comment is from James Rivera. What's good, James? Appreciate you, brother. It's good to freaking see you. What's good, James? He is referencing one of the lines as I like to use in the beginning of the video. If he has been here before, it's good to freaking see you. Please press that like button, just like I am doing. It does help out the channel. So good to freaking see you. You're awesome, bro. Thanks for the videos. Thank you so much. These videos do take a little bit of time, but I do enjoy it. Putting together the research depending on what I'm doing. So, for example, I have Alexa up right here from the last video that I did, and Alexa is just a website ranking tool. They aggregate browsing traffic and website traffic and put it together for people to use in terms of the data. And what I do here is I look up Andrew Yang, and then I pull these three factors, right? I pull the website ranking in the U.S. I pull the engagement in terms of the total page views, because the more page views viewed per visitor is a indicator of the content being more valuable and or the website being more valuable, right? So, and the same thing with the time on the site similarly, right? Like if you can gather more people's time, if your website has 3 minutes 8 seconds, my website has 2 minutes, like your website's fucking better, or you're just talking about more you have a better point of view on things because people are spending more time on your site, right? So I gather each one of these for all 11 candidates, put it into a frickin' spreadsheet, right? This is what I do. I'll put this into a spreadsheet and then go through and you stack rank every single one of these. So it takes a little bit of time, and then what I like to do is I'll actually kind of do my own little bit of analysis before I get into it, just to take a look at what's going on. I'm trying to understand it myself. After I do that, then I'll go in and make a video about it. So I do really appreciate the feedback. I do enjoy that other people hopefully enjoy some of the content that I'm doing here. This is from Jay Corona. What's up, Corona, brother? How you doing? Nice work. Counting for younger voting block. Mobile versus land searches are also valuable too, and stating that not all voters use Google and YouTube. You covered your ground. Thank you, Stolt. Hey, that's a good comment. I think what could be super valuable is to start adding in the RealClearPolitics aggregate data point, right? So whenever I do the power ranking, add in the RealClearPolitics overall ranking so that we can have 8 factors, because this is what we have right now. When we look at the power ranking here, we've done it 3 times, right? So I've got, hopefully you guys can see this, pretty small, but we've done the Google one multiple times, YouTube multiple times, website, blah blah blah. So adding in one more right over here somewhere where we take a look at RealClearPolitics and we add that in as a 8th factor, I think that could add in even more accuracy to what we're doing, because I think that if you, first of all, you have to consider reality, right? Is there valuable information in polling? Yes, there's some degree of valuable information. Does it mean it's the most representative or accurate? No. So I do think there's some valuable information there. Do I think it's completely representative of what America thinks? Not even close. But I do think that there is some valuable information there that could be extracted if we add it into what we're currently doing now. I think that 18 to 53-year-olds use these, Google look at websites, use YouTube, use Twitter, use Facebook, and these kind of things. So I think this is representative for a lot of the 18 to 53-year-olds, because first of all, like, look at Google. Google's the #1 site on the freaking planet. YouTube, #2 site on the freaking planet. There's a tremendous amount of people on that looking for things versus like a poll where you might get a couple thousand people, right? So it's just way more telling. There's just way more valuable, accurate data there than there is on some poll. But the poll could be valuable as well, and I think adding that in as an 8th factor might be kind of interesting to see. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. Let's move on here. This looks like it was a good comment here from Mr. or Mrs. Savan Rith. That's a cool name. Great work, Stolt. The conclusion doesn't surprise me. Andrew Yang wave is growing. This is in reference to the website ranking. What is kind of interesting, though, if you come back over here, as we did earlier, I just have to have this up from the last time I was doing the video. But when we look at the global ranking, he was gaining ground up until about mid October, where it flatlined. This is Andrew Yang's website, where his website flatlined, and then he started losing some ground. So if you guys know what happened around October 31st, I'm not sure what exactly happened. You know what's also super interesting is Tulsi 2020. Well, I think hers was looking super interesting when I pulled up her data, because she's had a gigantic increase in popularity, I think, over the past several months here. So, or decrease in popularity from her website, which is kind of interesting because we see her increasing in other things. So I wasn't sure if her increase in popularity was going to be sustained, or kind of like start the tsunami of growth and momentum for Miss Gabbard. If this is an early indicator of what's going to play out over the next several weeks, we can see that there's a fucking ridiculous drop off in the popularity of her site relative to other sites. Look at, so today is 11/15. Her site is ranked almost 21,000th out of all the sites in the U.S. Let's come over here and look at the website ranking, which was done on the 13th, so 2 days ago. And let's take a look at Gabbard's, right? She was ranked at 18,000, so she's lost 2,000 spots in like 2 days. I'm not exactly sure what's happening. We also saw in our website ranking that she's lost 1 spot here, which is clearly evident on the data, but that was 2 days ago, and she's lost a bunch more spots. So I'm not sure if this, this attention that she has, if she's able to continue to perpetuate her momentum, or if it is a moment in time and then she goes back to where she was in terms of relevance. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. Don't forget to use hashtag Stolt down below, and then we can touch on and talk about some of these comments. If you guys like some of this data that we're taking a look at. Let's go down here. And look at this. So this is from Star Trek right here. theory. By the way, what's good, Star Trek? I really appreciate you, man, for leaving comments on multiple videos over the past several months. It does help out the channel a lot by putting this content in front of more people. Stolt, not big on Trump, but where would he be in this group? Awesome, awesome question. And American Corp LLC, thank you for the comment as well. um, so Trump, where would he fit in here? That is a awesome question, and I've been considering adding a separate line or something for Trump to see where he stacks relative to these other candidates on some of these factors. I haven't done it yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to wait until we get closer, or like a much narrower field when it's just one-on-one. We'll see how this plays out. When it gets one-on-one, I think that he's going to just dwarf whoever is coming in. Just because of the name recognition and how much attention that Trump has, but it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I'm definitely open to adding him in there, you know. Let's just do one more. Let's do one more right here. And we're going to look at, let's see, Sean here. So Sean Barry, thank you so much, Sean. I appreciate you, brother. Hey, again, awesome work. Yes, doing a live would be great. It would be cool if I had some guest YouTubers who would support the various candidates to get their perspective. Oh, by the way, again, this goes back to my point earlier. If you guys know somebody who is a podcaster, if you know somebody who has a YouTube channel, or who's in the traditional, like, old school media, right, like on television or on radio, and what we're doing could provide value to them, share my shit with them, and I will, like, have a conversation with them or interview with them so that they can have some actual news that is, I think, super valuable to a lot of people with the way that we are structuring this. So that would help out a lot, and hopefully I can provide enough value to them through the insights of what we're doing here and how we are doing that. If you guys agree with that, don't forget to press the thumbs up and subscribe, and press that bell notification so YouTube can notify you next time I post a video. We've got the Facebook rankings coming up, so don't forget to press that bell notification, because that is going to be coming up probably later today or tomorrow morning. Today is Friday. I hope you guys create an amazing, amazing Friday, and I will talk to you soon.